Hello, fellow patriots, and welcome back to Red, Rights, and You. I'm your host, Tim Andrews. Now, President Biden has recently been harshly criticized from both sides of the aisle for the pardon of his son, Hunter. Well, the truth is, he's been catching more flack for flip-flopping. Ugh, say that 10 times real fast. But Pinocchio Joe has insisted since Hunter's conviction months ago that he would never pardon him under any circumstances, just like he would never step down from running in 2024. Of course, it was yet another one of Biden's famous lies. Since discussing the history of presidential lies would require me to write a 3-season documentary, I elected instead to unpack one of the most mysterious and magical powers in the presidential playbook, the presidential pardon. Because what's democracy without the occasional, what the hell, I'm in a good mood, you're free to go. Now, if you've ever wondered how we went from throwing tea into Boston Harbor to throwing convicted felons back into society with a clean slate, just stick around. Let's start with a quick history lesson. The presidential pardon dates all the way back to the birth of our country. It's like our founding fathers were saying, hey, maybe our government will screw up sometime, so let's just build in a do-over. It's right there in Article 2, Section 2 of the Constitution. The president has the power to grant reprieves and pardons for offenses against the United States, except in cases of impeachment. So sorry, but no get out of jail free card for the impeached. It's a good thing you resigned, Tricky Dick. The power itself was inspired by English kings who used it to show mercy. Except here in the U.S., we don't have kings. We just have presidents who occasionally act like kings. Now, the first presidential pardon was by the father of our country, George Washington himself. In 1795, he pardoned the leaders of the Whiskey Rebellion. Basically, some folks were mad about taxes on booze, and honestly, who isn't? Washington decided to let bygones be bygones, probably because he liked a good snort of whiskey himself. Let's call it the original cheers to second chances. Now, some pardons have been, let's just say, creative. Take Andrew Johnson. He pardoned thousands of former Confederates after the Civil War. His reasoning? Let's heal the nation. Translation? For the love of God, please stop shooting each other. Or how about Gerald Ford, who pardoned Richard Nixon? That one sparked a national uproar. Ford said it was to heal the wounds of the nation. But let's be real. It sounded more like, hey, thanks for gifting me the presidency, Dick. And then there's Bill Clinton, who pardoned his own brother for a minor drug offense, if you call cocaine minor, because nobody promotes family values like Slick Willie. Don't worry, bro. He's got you. So who holds the record for the most pardons? That honor goes to Franklin D. Roosevelt, who issued a whopping 3,687 pardons. Of course, he was in office for 12 years, so he had plenty of time. And the fewest, again, that'd be George Washington, with only 16. Turns out being the first president means you're a little too busy inventing and doing the job to hand out mercy left and right. Now, in total, there have been over 20,000 presidential pardons in U.S. history. Some are noble, like commuting unfair sentences. Others, well, let's just say they kind of make you scratch your head and question the whole system. Remember when Trump pardoned Sheriff Joe Arapio, or when Carter pardoned Vietnam draft dodgers? Both sides of the aisle have had their fun with this one. So what's the takeaway here? The presidential pardon is a double-edged sword. On one hand, it's a tool for justice and compassion. On the other, it's a reminder that sometimes power and politics are like your weird uncle's casserole. Messy, questionable, and occasionally inedible. But hey, at least they keep us entertained, right? Well, that's all for today's episode of Red Rights and You. Remember, folks, if you ever mess up, just pray Joltin' Joe Biden takes pity on you. Now, it is rumored that our fearless leader is so worried that President Trump will seek retribution for their endless persecution of him that he is ready to take it to the next level before he stumbles or is carried out of office. He wants to issue a blanket pardon for a large group of his fellow swamp dwellers who haven't even been charged with a crime yet. And they're saying he will even pardon himself. Just move along, really. There's nothing to see here, folks. And if for some crazy reason you can't convince Biden that you were a close friend or relative, well, maybe try lobbying for your own whiskey rebellion. Thanks for listening. And until next time, stay the course, stay strong, and stay patriotic. God bless you all, and God bless America. Pardon me, but I need to go. Take care.